Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I sound a little rough. I am fighting a cold. It is kicking my butt. The man cold is real. Look it up, okay? Anyway, from the short little clip there, I don't know how well you was able to tell, but when I press the window switch button for my driver's side, the window does not go down, but the volt gauge has a little blip in it, which tells me that the motor itself is not bad. Something is bound up. It's a very common issue in these cars. Several videos on this, but they kind of just throw a fix at it, and it's not like the proper thing to do. So I basically watched all the videos and found out what I should be doing, and so far I think the best one is PM Performance. Pietro, he showed me basically how he did it and how to not do it, because the way he did it, it worked for a little while, but after a while it started binding up, and that's because he used nuts. What we're going to use is 7/16 ball bearings, and once I get this apart and show y'all, it'll be pretty clear what you need to do. So let me get this door panel off, which hopefully y'all know how to do by now. I've had mine off probably 4,872 times to be, you know, roundabout. But let me get to that and I'll get back with y'all. Alright guys, after you get the door panel off, basically what it looks like, I just left mine attached, just threw the door panel down there. You take the speaker out. Right here is your motor. There's three 8 millimeter nuts. Sorry, not 18, 8 millimeters. You take them out and you can finagle that out through here. And I think this is the power for it. But give me a minute and I'll get that out and we'll go from there. Guys, that took some finagling. This is kind of dented in right here and it kind of held it. Let's see how well you can see it in there. Oh well, it's dented right here and I can't tell in the hole, but there's gear teeth right there, which is part of the regulator for all this. So that's what that turns. Now that I got it out, if you look right here, there's these torque spits or star heads, whatever you want to call them. Them have to come off so we can separate this. So let me get that off and let's take a look. Well guys, this is going to be another one of the videos where I just don't know right now. Normally you pull this part. Mine had a spline in it. You pull that out, which comes out of the middle of this, and you can separate the two halves. The issue is usually right here. All of this is broke up and you need to put something in there, like ball bearings. I normally put up a ball bearing to take the slack. This right here is like a cushion. I don't know why mine was binding up, because I don't have that issue. There's nothing broke inside mine. It actually looks like a newer motor. I can't tell by looking at it. So I'm going to hook it up and see if it goes up and down and what to do from there. Sorry, the wind keeps blowing the door on me. Never wants to blow until I'm out here doing something. But hopefully we can get this figured out. And anyway, what you would normally do is this part right here, this plastic would be missing. All of this would be broke apart and out. Like I said, this seems fairly new. So basically you would just put a ball bearing in place to take up the slack. So one ball bearing on each side, so it has no play. Well, it's going to have a little play. That's the design of it. It's supposed to have some play. But let me see if I can get this figured out and come back to y'all. Alright guys, after further investigation, I went ahead and took the top off. This is the gear that drives, that spins. This is where that hooks onto the gear set there. It does look like these contacts are a little corroded and they're almost touching each other, so that might be an issue. I'm going to go ahead and shorten all this out. It didn't work when I plugged it in, and I hit it on the ground a few times and it works just fine now. I turned it upside down. Please excuse my updates. I've turned them off 600 times and I still get them. But I don't know how well you can see down in there, but I've tried to clean up the best I could down in there and get everything taken care of. But I turned it over like this and just tapped it on the ground with some hunks of stuff. As a matter of fact, there's some on my white pasty leg right there that fell out of there. So maybe that's just causing a bind, but I'm going to get it cleaned out, get them contacts cleaned up with a wire brush, and go from there again. Alright guys, I got them terminals cleaned up. Before they was actually, the two on the bottom there was touching. So I took a wire brush and cleaned them up really good. I think the corrosion made them touch and it was grounding out. So I got that cleaned up. It spins freely now. I'm going to put it back together and see how that goes. But just to reiterate, this black piece is what normally breaks out, and you just put a ball bearing in there, 7/16 ball bearing, and it just takes up the slack where it spins freely in here. So let's go from there and get it back together, and hopefully this thing will work how it should. Alright guys, through this hole in the door, there's a hole in the regulator assembly. This cap right here, that's what that goes in, just like that. So when you put this top in, see how it's splined? You drop this top in, push it down, and this goes on like that right there. So that goes in that hole in that spline. So that's why you got to loosen it so you can back that up. Once you get in there and get it tight, everything's going to be perfect. That gives that bearing a free room to ride. Now I'm going to grease that up some more to get it to spin freely. Got all this greased up, and marine grease is what I used. I'm going to grease that up and then try to spin it again, make sure everything's still good. Alright guys, so y'all can see that I can't hold it and press the button into that. Ignore the chime, but see it going up, down, and it's working. It's not binding up, so hopefully that fixes it. Guys, it's going up and down good. As you can see, I got it about halfway down. I want to re-grease these tracks, make sure everything's good there. I've already put some here. I just had to lower it to get to this track. But basically, once you get it centered up and get that pin in, you can tighten these back down. That one right here and this one right here, and it'll pull everything back this way. And then I had a best view of the top one, so I just got the top one lined up and put it in. And then you can slide this one or this one in and just kind of move it back and forth, and you'll feel it when it, you know, finally falls in the hole, and then you tighten it up. Everything else is very simple. I was hoping this was going to be the ball bearing trick, but actually it turned into something else, and maybe it'll end up helping someone else. But I'm almost positive it's them two contacts that was touching, causing it to short out. Because when I banged it, and that's the piece that fell off, was where the two contacts was together. I mean, they're really close to begin with, and that was like ash. And once I did that, it started working again. So let me get this all greased up and get it all back together and see how this puppy does. Ignore the beeping. It's all back together. Goes down. Goes up. Very smooth. Well guys, thank y'all for coming along on this little trip. It didn't turn out the way I expected, and y'all are just, you know, y'all seen it just as I did. I was very surprised that I figured it was the ball bearings, and it wasn't. I even went to Ace and got some. They was 55 cents a piece. There's 3 of them in here, so you know, you do the math if you want to. Like $1.70, 80, something like that. Anyway, they're 7/16. You would have put them in them places where the plastic was out. My plastic was good. I'm almost 90% positive that it was electric contact, because they was touching until I banged it on the ground, and that came, and then it was clear that they shouldn't be touching. So the wire brush, got it all cleaned up, got the inside sprayed out, some dielectric grease on some contacts, and she's back to working again. So this wasn't long. This wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but this is the second time in a month that I've had something surprising like this happen. The next video is going to be a little bit more detailed. I wanted to go at least drive the car a month and see if it was really what I think it is, and if it was really fixed like I think it is. But again, I'm just as shocked as some of you might be. I was hoping to have an informative video. Hopefully this helps some people. Not everybody, you know, you might have the same problem. So I do know if you press the switch and you see the battery voltage drop, that usually it's something with the motor binding up. It's not the motor being dead. Also, yeah, that's it. It's the motor binding up. It's not the motor dead. But this is horseplay. I Thank y'all for watching. The next video will be a little bit more detailed, a little bit more involved concerning a hydro boost system that I had that was leaking, what I did to fix it, and a very big surprise that I got after spending $183. So please like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned, and peace.
I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with these 16 bars. I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with these 16 bars. I won't turn around, I won't turn around. No matter how far I go, I'll never come.